ashamed I've been divorced 2 times over dumb shit. I'm ashamed my son call another nigga pops. Cause his mom still bitter, we didn't work it out.
Good morning, fam. Good to see you all in here. First of all, one of the first things that I want to say, absolutely, I am going to show my face this morning. I will not have you all tuning in looking at a black screen. So I will be showing my face this morning. But peep the new logo. I know I probably need to make it bigger, but it says the Ask Morning Show. And on the inside of the O is B100 Radio. Y'all, the takeover is officially here. Man, we got a lot to talk about. But while we are waiting, because I'm getting ready to go pour my coffee and allow some more people to come in, y'all, it's Pride Month. Now, I sat up here and I said to myself, I said, what else is in the month of June? Father's Day. I said, so fathers get one day, but they get a whole month for sexual perversion. Absolutely, I said it. I know people are mad this morning. That's okay. I'm probably going to get a call, from 1 or 2 or 3 of my children later on, and that's also fine. But you all have to listen to this while I go fix my coffee. Let me see, how do I play this without actually showing it so I don't get in any trouble? I think this is how I do it. Hold on one second. Let me cancel that. Let me go here. We're going to turn this up and play this.
And finally, new rule: if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z, which means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054. And then who's going to buy this chair? I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that? All the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops, All Berries? It wasn't that long ago when adults asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They meant what profession? In the wake of America about to lose abortion rights, the ACLU recently tweeted a list of those who would be disproportionately harmed by this. You would think women might top that list. No, wasn't even on the list. Second on the list was LGBT. Really? Abortion rights affects gay and trans people more than, breeders? I'm happy for LGBT folks that we now live in an age where they can live their authentic lives openly. And we should always be mindful of respecting and protecting. But someone needs to say it. Not everything's about you.
With that being said, let me come on up in here and cam up, because for one thing, I know y'all want to see me this morning. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hair all over the place. Ask me if I care, because guess what? I really don't. I'm here. We're here. And it's time to talk. It's Pride Month once again. We are in the month of June. Now, my title said to people, it said, beware, Pride Month is upon us. And why did I say that? Well, believe it or not, I went in Target the other day, right? I go in Target all of the clothes in the children's section and adult section, what do you see? You see the rainbow, pride. Not only that, there are a bunch of books, right, inside of the store that are teaching children about sexuality. That should be an issue because we've talked about this before. Let's talk about it again. Uh-oh, y'all, we got a hater. Look at this. You mad at the LGBTQ community because they are better than you. Baby, the LGBTQ community wouldn't even exist with us because 2 men can't make a baby and neither can 2 women. Stop hating your creator. Let's keep going. This ain't about being mad. This is about the truth. I go inside of Target, right? Not only is everything about pride, because I'm saying to myself, why would they want children representing pride? Because when we talk about the letters of LGBTQ PIA, we know that they all do what? Represent what? A sexual preference. And I've said this before. I guess I have to break it down because a lot of times people don't get it, right? And you guys see the Cash App down at the bottom. Please make sure that you all support because I have to go back to Buffalo, but we're going to talk about that later on. When you talk about LGBTQ, and the reason I have such an issue with children being included in this movement is because each letter represents a sexuality, right? So the L represents lesbian, the B represents bisexual, right? The G represents gay, right? The T, transsexual. Like we could go on and on and on. They all represent what you like sexually. It's all about sex. So when I go in Target and I see a pride shirt for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, what does that represent? Are you telling me that I should look at a child as if they're bisexual? I'm asking y'all a question. Should you look at a child and say, oh, that child is a lesbian, she's sexually attracted to women? Should you look at a child and say, oh, that child is gay, sexually attracted to men, to boys? How do we begin to put children and sex, right, in the same sentence, in the same category, in the same space, and in the same movement? Everyone should have an issue, right? Like, if you're gay, that's your business. You're an adult. I'm not in your bedroom. I don't care what you got going on. It ain't my business. I don't want to see it. What you do behind closed doors is your business. Why should children be exposed to a movement that's prideful about sex? I'm going to look up the definition of pride. The Google definition of pride says, and y'all have been being aware of Google, right? Y'all know Google is changing history, changing education. You really need to be using DuckDuckGo as a search engine, right? You all are aware of that, right? Y'all know Google is also a part of the agenda. Okay. Google says pride, a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. The achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Example, the team was bursting with pride after recording a sensational victory, right? A verb, be especially proud. She always prided herself on her ability to deal with the crisis. That's Google's definition. Let me go to Webster's definition of what pride means. Well, here's dictionary.com. It says a high or inordinate opinion of one's own dignity, importance, merit, or superiority, whether as cherished in the mind or displayed in bearing or conduct. The state of feeling or being proud, right? So when I think about LGBTQ in this whole Pride Month, and I put two and two together, I say, so people are proud of their sexual freedom, sexual choice, or sexual identity. Anybody can chime in here and tell me if I'm wrong. So pride is about being proud of, LGBTQ pride is about being proud of your sexual freedom, your sexual identity, right? Or your sexual preference. And that's your business. What does that have to do with children? Now, let's get into this. Y'all, the Cash App down at the bottom. Y'all need to definitely support. Y'all need to like. Y'all need to share. Y'all need to subscribe. We getting ready to get into this convo this morning, and it's getting ready to get deep. Now, speaking of pride, speaking of children, speaking of this whole month that's dedicated to this movement, let's take a look at how the majority of these Fortune 500 companies, the media, and everybody, right, is jumping on the bandwagon. We usually see their logos. They're usually one color. Next thing you know, during Pride Month, everyone's color is a rainbow. Why are they so infatuated with the rainbow? Is it because it was God's promise to never flood the world again because of Sodom and Gomorrah? I'm just asking why there is so much focus on the rainbow. And then when we talk about children and bright colors, you know, it's a psychological thing, right? Children attracted to bright colors. You know that. You remember watching Reading Rainbow. You remember watching Sesame Street. You remember all of your toys were bright and colorful. You remember all of your favorite cartoons were bright and colorful. You know, if you go down the toy aisle right now, you're going to see all the pretty, bright, beautiful colors. And if you know anything about psychology, you understand that colors, right, also can control your mood. You know, you sit in the black room because it's dark, you might get depressed, you might get tired. You sit in the orange room or a yellow room, you might get happy. Colors also have meaning. It's Pride Month, y'all. Watch your children, beware. We're getting ready to get into something. Hopefully you guys are following this guy on Twitter, Robbie Starbuck. He is actually running for office. Now, you guys know that I was on Twitter. Y'all know I got kicked off of Twitter because I got into it with a big overgrown man with a wig on, about 6'4", 500 pounds, by the name of Ashley Preston. And we got into it on Twitter because Mr. Ashley Preston basically was saying that he was going to be a mama to my children. Now, me and my children don't know Mr. Ashley Preston, and I'm one of them mamas where, baby, I don't give a damn how big you is. You can't stop these bullets coming out this 4'5". And I told the world, you come anywhere around mine, boy, I'm going to fire your boy. I'm going to give you something you might not wake up from. And it was a promise. It wasn't a threat, okay? It was a promise. Everybody said I threatened the man. It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. It wasn't a threat. So I don't know if you deserve to go to jail or be sued for promises or get kicked off of Twitter for promises. I don't know. And although both of my children are grown now because my baby just turned 18 and my other baby is 21, but I still fire your ass up. I don't care. Don't let me catch you nowhere near my children. Nowhere near my children. And my children will tell you, please don't let that lady catch you nowhere around me. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's check out what's going on Twitter. So they kicked me off Twitter for promising the man that if he came anywhere around my children, whatever, right? Kicked me off Twitter. Verified candidate, qualified by the FEC, close to 500,000 followers. They deleted my page. But look what's going on Twitter now during Pride Month. So this is Robbie Starbuck, and he is calling them out. You guys need to make sure that you go follow him. But let's talk about this. He says, wow, Twitter is featuring this story that says it's appropriate to take young kids to pride parades where they may see new sights like nudity and kink. The fuck is kink? I'm sorry for cussing. I can't even understand why we having a conversation about children and kink. Like, somebody help me understand why children and kink would be in the same sentence. But let's keep going. The Fatherly, and I advise you all to go check this out on Twitter, article says that kids learn to enjoy it by imagining men are beanie babies with giant penises. Did y'all hear what I said? 715 people in the chat watching right now. Y'all hit the Cash App. They still won't allow me to monetize on the page. I need your support. Listen to this. There is an article right now being promoted on Twitter by Fatherly, going viral, stating that it is okay, it is appropriate to bring young children to pride parades where they may see new sights like nudity and kink. The article goes on to say that kids learn to enjoy it. Learn to enjoy what? That's the problem. See, y'all trying to make our children learn sex. Y'all trying to make our children learn to enjoy sexual perversion. It says children learn to enjoy it by imagining men are beanie babies with giant penises. Lord, I'm going to jail or hell, because I promise you, if I run up on one abusing the child, baby, your ass got to go. I ain't asking no questions. It don't matter who kid it is. It's just the fact that it's a child and these children are innocent and defenseless and have no idea. Listen. All right, let me keep going. See, and this is why, I constantly talk to my own seed about this. Like, some things you don't need to be a part of, because we got all of these people up, shooting and killing our elderlies in the grocery store, shooting and killing our children in the schools. Somebody gonna eventually show up and shoot up a doggone pride parade, and this has already happened at one of the clubs, and this may be the reason why. They're always contributing mental health, right, to these mass shootings. Well, mental health could be the fact that some of these people can't deal with the fact that y'all out here trying to fuck these children. Not all of you. because I know a lot of LGBT folks that don't play with children at all. I know a lot of LGBT folks that love children. Hell, I was raised with my auntie who has been with a woman my whole life. She ain't never in her life done nothing to harm me, expose me to no sex. All that lady ever did was love me. So no, it ain't all. But just like that Black Lives Matter movement was hijacked by extremists, this LGBTQ plus PIA has been hijacked by pedophiles. Y'all know they're going to block this one. Y'all know they're going to block this one. Y'all, come on, please support me. Hit the Cash App up. The LGBTQ movement has been hijacked by pedophiles. The Democratic Party has been hijacked by extremists and pedophiles. We know it ain't the whole LGBTQ. Just like y'all know it ain't all black people out here committing crimes. Just like we know all white people ain't racist. I told y'all, this good versus evil. We don't have time to be separated. We ain't got time to hate the white people that's going to stand with us on this agenda just because they white. We ain't got time to hate the LGBTQ people that will stand with us on this agenda just because they're gay. Because there are plenty of people in that movement that do not agree with their agenda and their attack on our children. But they want us to be divided so we can never be united. They make the majority look like the minority because they have us split on so many different conflating issues. Nah, we white Republicans in office fighting, voting against this, but no, we can't vote for them because they're racist. You got the LGBTQ people members saying, no, we can't speak out against our community. Yeah, you right, but we don't want them coming to attack us because we see how they cancel y'all when y'all say something about it. Then you got the white people saying, well, I do want to help, black people. I do think there's a need, but why the hell did they burn down their own communities and why they still voting Democrat? They have all of these things to keep us divided. When we need to be united right now, fighting for the issues that really truly matter. Let's keep going with this. Fatherly article going on Twitter. Y'all remember they kicked me off Twitter. Put a dent in my pocket. All of my supporters was on Twitter. Put a whole dent in my pocket, but we can promote an agenda and articles and got the picture of the lady holding the baby at the Pride Parade. The fact that all of this is even, how you got a picture of a baby, right, on an article that's talking about children learning to enjoy pride by imagining men are beanie babies with giant penis. What the fuck? I can't even read it. It won't even come out. Yes, you should take your kids to a pride parade, but have these conversations first. Here, go right here, y'all. Fatherly. Pride parades and the pride festivals that follow are noisy and crowded. They are filled with sites that may be new to kids, like public nudity and kink. So is it okay to take your kids to the pride parade and then down at the bottom it says, yes, you should. So you telling us you want us to take our children to a parade to see dick? I'm just asking. You talking about dick and balls, bananas and cherries. Y'all telling us y'all kick me off Twitter, right? Because I don't want my children to be exposed to bananas and cherries, right? I get kicked off because I don't want your nasty, sweaty, musty, crusty, dusty balls and motherfucking bananas swinging around my children. I get kicked off, but these people are telling all of us let's keep going. It goes on to say, considering the benefits for all families, including seeing other LGBTQ plus families like yours, or showing up as an ally if your family members are straight or cisgender, the answer is absolutely. McGuire, a lesbian parent, always preps her kids for possible adult content beforehand. So as parents, right, we basically sitting down watching porn with our children. That's what you're telling us. So I'm supposed to get my babies, right? Like, I ain't watching porn with my adult children, right? Because the shit is just weird to me. I'm not doing it, right? Like, if that's what you do that over there. We ain't never sitting down in the same room watching porn, right? That's just me. I don't know. Like, even if you're watching it, I don't know if I want to know. Like, I don't even want to know what you like. I don't want to know what you into. You grown, you my child. I don't want to know you like that, right? I've always given my children their privacy. As soon as they was old enough to learn how to bathe themselves, that's what they did. Like, I wasn't even the parent in there trying to bathe my children once they knew how to bathe themselves, right? I wasn't still trying to hold your pee-pee for you when it was time for you to go piss, right? Once I knew you knew how to use the bathroom, right, you was on your own. Now, I would wash your drawers, but I wasn't washing your ass no more. That's just me as a mama, right? So basically, these parents sitting down watching porn with their children. Woo! After a few events, the kids knew to expect nudity and other surprises. They just had to learn to laugh and enjoy things. Like, there were these beanie babies with giant penises on them. McGuire says for a 4th and 5th grade kid, that's super funny. Let's go to the next one. You know, I don't know if y'all as shocked as I am. 940 people in the live chat this morning, man. All of y'all can at least donate $1. Come on, support the movement. I don't know whether to be shocked, surprised. It's hard to imagine that this is even real. It's hard to imagine that we have to be sitting here having a conversation about why children need to see bananas and cherry at a pride parade. You know, I really thought that some things were for adults, and this ain't an attack on people that we love in that community. No, like, some of y'all, we know y'all not with this, but y'all need to be speaking up with us against this agenda. We need to be seeing members from the LGBT community doing lives about this and speaking up about why this is wrong. Come on, y'all. We got another one. That ain't it. Pizza Hut, they jumped in the game too. That's right. Pizza Hut. Let's see what they talking about, y'all. It's Pride Month. Anything that I talk about in regards to LGBTQ is going to always be about the agenda with our children. Let's go. Woohoo. Pizza Hut sponsors a program all during Pride Month, which incentivizes kids in pre-K through 6th grade to read books. This week, one of their suggested books is Big Wig, a book about a child who becomes a drag performer. Now listen, y'all. A lot of y'all have not been to drag shows, but I have. Okay. And I've had a lot of friends, in the LGBTQ movement. I've been to the drag shows. I've been to the gay clubs, the parties, you know what I'm saying? All of that. There is nothing there for children. There is nothing there for children to participate in. There is nothing there. Like, that's one of them things that children are supposed to be at home, right? Like, back in the day in Atlanta, the whole city would come out, right? Freaknik. Like, you don't go to Freaknik with the children. Freaknik, we all knew Freaknik is not for kids, right? When we go to the strips clubs, right? Anywhere here, in Atlanta or Vegas or whatever, right? If we're going to see female strippers or whatever, like, they have an age limit, right? You have to show your ID. You can't go in there, right, unless you are a certain age, and they definitely don't allow children inside of the strip club. There is a reason why, because there is nudity. You also, right, if I'm walking down the street right now, I'm in my house, and let's just say somebody walking down the street, and it's a man, and he see me sitting up here in the window and decide to unzip his pants and pull out his penis, right? That's indecent exposure, right? That's a charge. Like, you could go to jail for that. But if you're a member of LGBTQ, it's okay. Y'all please support the Cash App. Y'all know, anybody in the comments, y'all tell me, let me know if I'm tripping. Drag shows are no place for kids. Now, believe it or not, they're having open drag shows in the school. You know how they used to have talent night? They having open drag shows in the schools. Got men with their ass cheeks hanging out. All they got in their ass is a string, bare-chested, right? Nuts tucked somewhere. I don't know where they went. I don't know if they still got them. That's not my business. And have children tipping, right? Giving them money. Got children giving grown men money for dancing and hitting splits with a string up their ass in the school. Here it is. You guys can see it from the Pizza Hut Book It program. Subject, June is LGBTQ plus Pride Month. This June, we're celebrating Pride Month and the diversity of LGBTQ plus community. These 3 books explore the uniqueness of every person, celebrate individual, and encourage kids. Encourage kids. Listen to what it says. To encourage kids to see what makes us different. Why you want a kid to see a grown man walk around with his motherfucking ass out? Excuse me for cussing this morning. I'm sorry. I'm just asking. It doesn't make sense. Why do you want children? Why would you want a child to see a woman walk around with her behind out? Product description. In the spirit of Julian is a mermaid. This irrepressible, whatever, picture book celebrates drag kids. Drag kids. Now y'all got drag kids. Now you got little boys dressed up like grown damn women, turn around, twirling around the damn pole and busting splits and shit while people throwing money at them. Okay. This book celebrates drag kids, individuality and self-confidence from the perspective of a fabulous wig. When a child dresses in drag to compete in a neighborhood costume competition, he becomes a BB Bedazzle. A key part of BB Bedazzle's ensemble is a wig called Wig. Together, they are unstoppable drag queen team. But Wig feels inadequate compared to the other big wigs. So now they want our boy children competing over who got the biggest wig. Listen. When wig flies off BB head, we already know this is a boy. They're calling the little boy she. Now, first you just said it was about dressing up in a costume. Now you're referring to the little boy as B. When the wig flies up, because there ain't no women dressing up in drag. Let's be clear. Drag is not for women, okay? Drag is for men. Drag is not for women. Just like this stuff they talking about drag kids, you're not talking about little girls. You're talking about little boys. Let's be clear. When wig flies off a BB head, she goes from kid to kid, instilling confidence and inspiring dreams in those who wear her. So we going from one little boy to the next little boy, making sure that they are instilling confidence in them to wear wigs and be the beautifulest women that there is. Pizza Hut. When all the pepperoni and cheese go to your brain and you can't think straight. Pride Month, y'all. 1,061 people in the chat this morning. I appreciate y'all. My boy Kwame, he gonna be joining us. Y'all know me and Kwame got something to talk about. I need to send Kwame the link. So is Kwame in here? Is he in the chat? Because y'all know I've been going and I haven't seen it. But let's talk about this Buffalo shooting right quick, and I'm going to bring Kwame up because this leads to what Kwame and I need to talk about. Yesterday, Kwame and I had a meeting with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm going to bring Kwame up for us to talk a little bit about that, because what you all may know or may not know is that I've been very active behind the scenes since that shooting took place in Buffalo. I don't want to seem insensitive to what happened with children in Uvalde, but I believe that there are enough people speaking up and fighting on that. And I do believe that that community and those people are going to get justice. I also believe that they're going to get protection, provisions, and all of that. And a lot of times us as a community of Black Americans, because we know what it feels like to be mistreated, we have a lot of empathy towards other groups, and we always join their fights for justice, and somehow ours get lost in the mix. So I need to get us back on track, and I have not stopped, and I have brought my brother Kwame in, and also my godmother Alveda King. Now, many of you know that Alveda King is a really, really, really big name, very well respected in the Republican Party, and trust and believe she is standing with me. She's standing with me not just because of our relationship, which plays a lot of part in it, but she's standing with me because she knows that this is the right thing to do. Not only does she know that this is the right thing to do, but I've been working with my godmother for 20 years. Being the servant, carrying bags and shoes, showing up, whenever they call, being loyal, right? Being honest, right? Doing whatever they ask me to do. So quite naturally, if something is dear to my heart and she knows when I'm serious about something, she treats me just like I've treated her all these years, and that's why I love her. Okay, so listen, I'm going to text Kwame. I don't know where he at when we get back to that conversation, but let's keep going. Y'all, just to break it up a little bit, because that was a lot about our children, let me do some Friday fat flashbacks right quick, right? Just to break up the energy a little bit. Now, For one thing, I know a lot of people don't necessarily, live for Trump or whatever, and that's okay if you don't live for Trump because you don't necessarily have to, right? But this is the type of energy that I think we all need to have. Let me find this doggone. Here we go. No, not that one. Hold on. Let me find this right here. Where we at? Come on now. Here it is. This is the type of energy we need to have. Okay, then on my brother Kwame, he said he back. Let me get ready to drop the link for Kwame so we can talk about what's going on up in this Buffalo shooting. But let me show you this. This is the type of energy we need to have right quick. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if y'all remember this. Man, this man right here, man, cracks me the hell up, y'all.
No. No.
Giving them folks the finger.
No.
Trump be over it. Like, he be sitting there listening to them people, man. He know they full of shit. And he can't just come out and say F you, but he will hit one of these. That's the energy that we need. Friday flashback, y'all. How many of y'all remember this? Let's hit them. Hold on. Epic. Then we going to my boy Kwame. Check this out. Hold on. Where we at? Where is it? No, it's this one.
If your daughter, your child wants to be, called what she wants to be called, you should honor that. Yes, absolutely.
Well, if your mother want to be called a dumb crackhead, is that what you gonna call her? I'm just asking.
Wait. My mother is
asking.
Wait.
You brought her up. I don't know. I don't have to call my son what he wants me to call him just because he asked me to.
This is not a zoo. This is not a zoo or a zoo. So all the animal.
So when you throw shots, be prepared to receive them back.
If I was throwing a shot,
they're not hitting though.
Because although you called my mother a dirt, hold on, put us all.
I didn't call her. I said if she wanted to be called.
On this show,
listen, I ain't never smoked crack or heroin either, and that's probably why I know my son is a man and not a woman.
You know what?
So
but
you ain't your show.
You're smoking crack. No,
amazing. Your child is amazing.
Never ever forget one of the most legendary moments ever in social media and podcasts or whatever. Never ever forget. Listen, don't bring me on your show talking crazy to me, because baby, I promise you I got something for you. And in reality, I know Jason's feelings is still hurt, but I didn't actually call his mama a dumb crackhead hoe. If you all were able to watch the whole thing, he basically was confessing to me why his mother was a better mother to him than I was to my child. He said, my mother wasn't in jail like you. She smoked crack and heroin, and that's why she went to jail. And I had to remind him, I ain't never smoked crack. I ain't never did heroin, right? I went to jail because I was a hustler, and that's probably why I have good sense, right? So after he's explaining to me why his mother wasn't in his life, he's telling me how I should address my child. Okay, well, if that's how I should address my child, are you going to address your mama as a dumb crackhead hoe? Because basically that's what you just told me, and then he in his feelings. It was just a question. We don't have to live in their reality because their reality may not always be what's right. Woo! Buffalo shooting. My boy Kwame. Let me drop the link. Let's get into this. Then we got to get over to Monique. Y'all, please make sure y'all support the Cash App, y'all. Let's go. The Buffalo shooting. Here we go. Dropping the link, Kwame. I need you to come up at any time. As soon as I see you in the back office, I'm bringing you on. Now, check this out. Andrew Giuliani. Andrew Giuliani is the son of, you guys know who, Rudy Giuliani. Remember, one of President Trump's friends. Oh, they're racist. They hate our black people. Never listen to anything a white Republican says. Well, Andrew Giuliani went to Buffalo, New York. And that's what I was bringing up. I, too, am going to Buffalo, New York. I'm going back in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to do a press conference. Not only that, but we are going to take food and supplies to that community, because y'all remember, these people still don't have a grocery store. Okay, let's talk about what Andrew Giuliani had to say about the Buffalo shooting, because he did go up there. Now, I see a lot of people jumping in the chat. I'm going to ask y'all to hold on before y'all jump in the chat, because I don't want it blocked for when Kwame tries to join us. So y'all hold on a minute. But let me play this clip right quick from when Andrew Giuliani went to go visit Buffalo, New York. Let's talk.
Here in Buffalo, New York, at the site of the heinous crime that happened just a few short days ago. First and foremost, let me send my sympathies out, my thoughts and my prayers to all the families, all the victims who were dealing with this senseless crime. Truly disgusting, and something that I believe was preventable. You know, the questions that I have for the state, we knew about this guy almost a year ago. Was it a lack of resources? The FBI, I believe, knew about this guy, or should have known about this guy, who had threatened to shoot up his school. What do they do about it? These are questions that need to be answered by the state of New York, specifically the governor and the FBI. And also, in looking at this, I really believe that the death penalty should be on the table for mass murderers of hate crime like this, and for cop killers. And I believe the capital punishment would be an option if... Hello, my fellow New Yorkers. I'm here in Buffalo, New York, at the site of the heinous crime that happened just a few short days ago. First and foremost, let me send my sympathies out, my thoughts and my prayers to all the families, all the victims who were dealing with this senseless crime. Truly disgusting, and something that I believe was preventable. You know, the questions that I have for the state, we knew about this guy almost a year ago. Was it a lack of resources? The FBI, I believe, knew about this guy, or should have known about this guy, who had threatened to shoot up his school. What do they do about it? These are questions that need to be answered by the state of New York, specifically the governor and the FBI. And also, in looking at this, I really believe that the death penalty should be on the table for mass murderers of hate crime like this, and for cop killers.
There it is. I'm still waiting on Kwame. Where you at, bro? Come on up. Listen, Andrew Gillum, not Andrew Gillum. Oh, Lord, not him. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Shout out to his family. Hey, baby, have a nice day. Shout out to his family, his children, and all of that they went through. But Andrew Giuliani is demanding an investigation, right? Listen, whoever willing to stand with us in this fight, that's who we need to be standing with, right? We got over 1,200 people in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all support the Cash App. Listen, it don't matter what their skin color is. If they're willing to stand with us, allow them to stand with us. Now, the conversation of reparations, right, has been at the forefront, and I have even jumped on that conversation, especially with what happened in Buffalo, New York, in regards to the shooting, because you all know, right, that these people have been completely silent when it comes to what took place in Buffalo, New York, right? But all they're talking about now is this shooting that took place in Texas. Now, I want you all to see the reaction of the first Black press secretary when she is asked about reparations and reminded that the state of California just passed reparations on behalf of Black Americans living right in California. Check this out, y'all. Let me play this clip.
Yep. Thanks, Fareed. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action, since the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is potentially wanting to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations. I don't think I've called on you in a while. Okay.
Yep. Oh, thanks, Green.
Look at the eyes, y'all.
About this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action. Since the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is potentially wanting.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed already.
The reason why this clip right here is so important is because, remember, they told us this is the first Black press secretary. We never hear them speaking on our behalf, although they're telling us that these people represent us, right? The eye roll, the eye bucking. She's saying that she doesn't know what the stance is in California. So let me tell you all what's happened in California, right? So basically, California has released a 500-page, right, interim report backing reparations, right, in separate Black schools, okay? The state of California, which entered the Union in 1850 as a free state, has issued a 492-page interim report recommending the state pay for reparations for slavery and for other acts of racial injustice nationally and locally over the last 2 centuries. The report, issued by California's task force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans, is the outcome of deliberations that were launched last June with Gavin Newsom when he signed Bill AB 3121 into law. This next part that I'm about to share with you all is important, right? This is why we all need to be standing on the court so we can get work done for us. It says the 9-member panel, which is predominantly Black. Remember when I was reading y'all about the Asian bill the other day, and I was telling you about the Asian representative that introduced that anti-Asian hate crime bill and how they are acting on behalf of their community? We need people in Congress that's acting on behalf of us. But at the local level in California, there is a 9-member panel, which is predominantly Black, right? Said that they deadlocked for months over the question of who should benefit from the proposed reparations, whether all people of color. Now, we have to be careful with that all people of color, because all people of color ain't Black. We have to be careful when they trying to lump us in as all people of color, because mind you, even if you watch the 85 South show with Stacey Abrams and they asked her, why don't you just address Black instead of people of color? She said, because we only 12% of the population. It's not enough of us, right? So now they want to lump us all in together to make us seem as though we are the majority, right? All, right, people of color are not Black. You could be Asian and be considered a person of color. You could be Latino or Mexican and be considered a person of color. You could be an immigrant, okay? You could be an illegal immigrant, okay? And be considered to be a person of color. Let's keep going. Y'all watch them for the hook with that one. It said, or should it go to only those who could prove that they were actually directly descendants from slaves, right? It says, ultimately, the panel decided to focus more narrowly, but the legislative recommendations of the interim report included broad measures that would apply to all Black Californians. Now, that's important because, like I told you all before, with our brothers and sisters from ADOS, right? Yes, reparations. But am I in agreement that reparations should just be for the descendants of slaves? No, I'm not. It should be for Black Americans in need. And my reason for that is because of this. In Buffalo, New York, when our elders were shot, in South Carolina, when our elders were shot, neither one of them white boys went in there and asked any of them if they was descended of slaves. You don't have to be a descendant of slave to be discriminated against. We are discriminated against because of the color of our skin. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not our mothers or parents are slaves or not, because the discrimination that we are enduring today, whether you was a slave or not, if you are a black person, it's about the color of our skin. That's what causes people to discriminate. Like when I have been faced with discrimination, right? And it was, while I was supporting the Asian business, before they was following me around the store, telling me, hurry up and buy, slamming my money down on the counter. They didn't ask me if anybody in my family had ever been a slave. So now that we know what this law is about in California, now that we know Governor Newsom and that panel down there in California, this one thing they may have done right, says that they're going to provide provisions for Black Americans, specifically in California. We have the first Black press secretary, and this is her response to the idea of Black people being compensated, right, for pain and suffering. Right. Somebody said we discriminated against by Black immigrants. Y'all ain't lying. Everybody, listen. You hear what she's saying, but watch what she do. Y'all listen. Look at the eyes. You can see it in the eyes. We're going to play this again. First Black press secretary, married to a white woman now. I don't know if they married, but they together. So that's her spouse or significant other or whatever. Ain't nothing Black about this administration, but the people they put before us and want us to listen to. You know what this remind me of, y'all? You ever notice, like, when we go into some of the stores in our communities that's owned, like, for instance, I'm going to use this as a perfect example. The JJ's Fish, right, over in Summerhill. Now, the JJ's Fish over in Summerhill, right, is not owned by Black Americans, right? Owned by immigrants. But guess who they got at the cash register taking your money? The Black woman. You know why? Because they would rather let that Black woman be the face and let her deal with you. But they the ones in the back counting the money. They the ones in the back making the money. She ain't getting nothing but her little $7.50 for standing at the front counter selling you they goods. This is the same thing. All she is doing, okay, there go Kwame. Let me drop the link again. Here you go, Kwame. All she's doing is selling us their goods. Once again, while we waiting on Kwame to chime in, let's look at the first Black press secretary, right? Her response when being asked about reparations for Black Americans. Look in the eyes, y'all. Look in the eyes. Let's go.
Reparation. I really have called you in a while.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action. Said that the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is essentially pointing to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations. I really have called you in a while.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action. Said that the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is essentially pointing to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations.
There it is. We got my boy Kwame. He done decided to join us. People in the comments telling me they saying, Angela, reparations isn't about discrimination. It's about 400 years of slavery. Okay, well, pay reparations and include all Black Americans. I don't know. If you ask me, the KKK is still alive. No, they ain't kicking in our door and hanging up some trees, but they absolutely coming into the church and into the grocery store and killing us. Kwame, what's up, bro?
What's going on? I'm trying to get some of this sweat off me.
It's hot out there.
What?
I ain't been out there yet. So listen, yesterday, you, myself, and my mama King, we had a private off-record meeting with Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I think went fairly well. She listened to us. She heard us out. She claims she understands our position and has also promised to act in some form or fashion. Kwame, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Marjorie Taylor Greene being a white Republican who they have said, you know, is a racist, doesn't care about Black people. But yet and still, I have not heard from Killer Mike. I haven't heard from Kwanzaa Hall. I haven't heard from Vernon Jones. I even left messages for other Black people that I know that are connected in the community. But Marjorie seems to be the only one that is responding. Based on that meeting yesterday, just talk to the people about your thoughts and where we're at. And especially after watching this video and this lady like, we ain't changing our stance on reparations.
To me, she took the first step. She at least listened. I mean, like you said, you can't get in touch with some of the folks that shout about the Black community the most. When we call and we ask for something, mum is the word. So I just appreciate the fact that she listened. Now, whether she do something or not, I don't know. My opinion was the conversation, to me, we shouldn't have to. This shouldn't be something that we begging for. This should be something that's understood already. We got example after example, every other race, every other group. If we all was to put on a wig and say we were something else, then we would be protected by every law enforcement agency in the world. But when you're just Black or you're just African American, that's not good enough. So these groups are starting to take over, and it seems like if you're just a Black man or just a Black woman, I guess you're not as important as these other groups.
So listen, down at the bottom, here's a comment. Somebody said, come on, Angela. It's all of this conversation about reparations and ADOS, and somebody even just put up Nigerians deserve reparations. Look, I don't know about Nigerians. I just talked about everybody joining everybody fight. I think the issue should be on Blacks in America, right? Black citizens born in America. That's what the issue needs to be about. Kwame, where are you on? And it seems like we all need to be united on this in this fight, right? Because we know that you get discriminated against because of the color of your skin. Ain't nobody that's shooting us dead in the grocery store or in church asking us if we are descendants of slaves. However, people are saying, hey, the descendants of slaves, that's for 400 years of slavery. And what we're asking for is two totally different things. Do you think there needs to be a split, or do you think there just needs to be economic empowerment for Black Americans just generally across the board?
I just think it needs to be generally across the board, because what so many of us do, we argue semantics for white folks. Well, we're not Black. We're not this. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We're the real Jew. We're the this. We're the that. And so you get to doing that and you're fussing and fighting more than you're making any type of progress. And so if you are a Black American, African American, African, whatever you are, whatever they look at you as is an N-word, in my opinion. So I think we all should just come to the table like Ice Cube was doing. It's a slap in the face that still to this day, Joe Biden and that whole administration, you know, this was a guy who said niggas with an attitude, and all the whole Black community loved him. But it seems like the Democratic Party got such a hold over people's mind that people that you once loved, the moment they say something you don't like them either. You take on the mindset of your oppressor. And so most people now are just being quiet. They're like, I'm not going to keep arguing with people back and forth. So I'm sure Ice Cube is probably just quiet doing his own thing now, because it's a slap in the face to put yourself out there like that on both fronts, and then nobody supports you.
Now, I'm going to share something in regards to a lot of these shootings that took place, and I want to get your opinion on this. In Georgia, they have started training our teachers to shoot and defend our students. Let's check out this video, and then Kwame, give me your commentary on how you feel about this after it's played.
All right.
I'm Carolyn Ryan. I'll show you the training one school district has implemented, all in the name of safety.
if you come to our school and harm our students or our staff, you will be taken out with deadly force.
Lawrence County is the first school district in the state of Georgia to arm its teachers.
There's a perception that it's like the Wild West and teachers walking down the hallways with 9mm strapped to their side. That's not the case.
The policy was researched, vetted, and implemented with the help from local law enforcement. Those who want to participate have to pass a psychological exam and background check. Then they go through intense training with the sheriff's office.
But thumbs are forward.
Did you volunteer?
I volunteered.
I did. You said this is something I know I need to do.
Yes.
This teacher, whose identity we agreed to keep confidential, is one of 45 armed staff members. But some critics argue it takes away from their primary job, teaching.
Do you find that it's taken your focus away in any way from teaching?
It hasn't affected me in that way. I would be more upset to know that I was a sitting duck than if I went and helped.
Being locked and loaded is a responsibility these teachers don't take lightly, but it's one they'll gladly bear if it means keeping these kids safe.
They love these children so dadgum much, they will lay their life down for them.
Woo! Kwame, that's a lot. We see a lot of people in the comments saying no, a lot of people in the comments saying yes. My personal opinion is if I'm a teacher in the school and somebody come in with a gun, I want a gun. I don't want to die on my knees. I want to at least try to bust back. They training the teachers, Kwame. Where you at with that?
I like everything they said. First of all, I like the accent. The accent let me know that they dead serious. So I would send my kid to that school because, like the teacher said, if I'm a teacher, I would be more focused on my job now because I have the responsibility of this weapon. They checked all the boxes. They the mental background check. They're doing the training. So what's the excuse now? You have certified teachers that are educated. They're training with the weapon. And now your kid don't have to go there and worry about being shot at. They're going to shoot at the adults. So the story should read that adults are doing their job and putting themselves in harm's way for the children. And that's what we all as adults are supposed to do.
Well, there it is, y'all. Somebody say, I just donated. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all hit the Cash App. Kwame, one last thing. I know you busy, but I got to get your take on this. And we changing the subject a little bit. But I do want y'all to know in regards to Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Kwame say, we sitting back watching. We had the meeting. They told us that they're going to come up with something. So we are waiting to hear back. We hadn't heard back from a lot of our Black leaders in the movement. But Kwame and I are fighting for change. We are fighting for justice. Our brother, y'all, Dr. Umar Johnson, they done caught him with a white girl. Lord have mercy. Check this out, y'all. Check this out.
You got it. Look at it. You got it. You got it. Look at it.
First of all, I just want to say whoever recording, y'all nosy and need to learn to mind y'all damn business. The man can't even go give somebody a number without people all in his business. But y'all check this out because y'all know they completely roasting our brother. They like, nah, not Dr. Umar with a white woman. This is what he had to say. Dr. Umar said, yes, I was at Cherry Hill Mall today. My iPhone crashed last night and it was the closest Apple store with an available appointment today. It was in Jersey. I was leaving the mall. I stopped at a kiosk to view the incense and crystals. That non-African woman is simply the vendor. Dr. Umar, I'm sorry. I don't see no crystals and I don't see no incense. But if that's the case, why is you buying crystals and incense from a non-African woman? Kwame, they done caught our brother with the white woman. What we gonna do?
I think we're gonna let his two wives handle this situation. So I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm gonna let his wives handle that. But I did hear his comments about LeBron's son and all that, and I was just like, wow, that's a lot of pressure. It's exactly what I was saying. You reach a level of success and you turn into somebody they want you to be. Bronny James can't go out and live his life because someone else thinks that his life should go according to some bigger picture or some whole community. I don't think that's fair on Bronny. I don't think that's fair to young men. If a black woman go get a white man, they look at it as an upgrade. So to look at Bronny James doing whatever he want to do, he's first of all is still a child. When I said something about D Wade's son in a dress, which I was just talking about the actual how they were remembering Kobe, and I remember people saying you shouldn't even speak about a child. So which one is it? I noticed that there's an unhealthy thing in the community. We are such big hypocrites. We say one thing and then we do the totally exact opposite when it's the different situation. So I just think the whole conversation was pointless and stupid for a grown man to be worried about what a 17-year-old boy is doing.
That is so hilarious, Kwame. My brother, I know your time is valuable. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, y'all. I'm about to play this clip, and Kwame, I don't know if you know about this, but I know we all been hearing about this big rift between Monique and DL Hughley, right? So Monique and her husband have actually brought me in the mix, y'all, and I'm going to play this clip because this thing has been crazy. And yes, it is a real fact that I did see DL Hughley in the airport. And this is the crazy thing about the situation. D.L. Hughley basically had been using his platform to completely dog me out, my campaign, everything, putting my face everywhere, and he never had a conversation with me. And I had reached out to him several times to see if he would bring me on his show to let me explain my position in my campaign. Of course, he never would. He just continued to dog me out. So I saw D.L. Hughley in the airport, and the crazy thing about it was, after talking all of this trash about me, he didn't even recognize who I was. So I walk up on him and I'm like, DL, what's up? Still not knowing who I was. So I tell him who I am. And I'm like, yo, you know, why haven't you called me on to talk about me? Why you just using your platform to disrespect me? Next thing I know, the man started howling like a panda. Security! Security! And I'm looking at him like, damn, why he calling security? Then he stand up and I realized he ain't but 3 feet 5 with his shoes on. I'm standing here looking like a giant. Y'all know I'm 6 feet flat foot. Thank God I ain't have on no heels that day. This man went to calling security. Next thing I know, him and Monique done got into it. Monique and her husband done brought me in the mix, y'all. Shout out to Monique for reminding people of how this man treats black women. And I don't like the fact how D.L. Hughley gets to say any and everything about anybody. But when Monique comes on and wants to express her opinion, then you have people saying, oh, this is why we don't want to work with you. Man, let me tell y'all something. Y'all need more strong black women that's willing to stand on their word. Let's hear what they had to say.
With just delicious love. And some of them, y'all mad. It's like, baby, what's wrong? Wait a minute, did it just go dark? Oh, okay. All right. You want to start talking, my baby?
Let's rock and roll.
So listen, this past weekend, it was very eventful. And I had a show at the Fox Theater on Saturday night in Detroit. And y'all have seen a video gone viral with me speaking very openly and candidly about my feelings towards D.L. Hughley, the contract, and the past. And as I was on that stage saying what I was saying, let me be clear. It was intentional. It was intentional. The contract situation and the headliner situation, that was just the icing on the cake for D.L. Hughley and I.
Let's take them back, though.
Take them back.
Let's take them back to the beginning so everybody can get an understanding of where the love fest, if you will, ended.
Let me turn it up, Daddy. They saying turn it up.
All right.
Okay. So let me just take y'all back to where when you think you're cool with somebody, you find out that you're not. Some time ago when D.L. Hughley, he still has his radio show, and they called me to do an interview. I go on to do the interview, and I'm getting interviewed by the sister Jasmine, and I can't remember the other gentlemen that were in the room. It was one of his producers, and it was another gentleman on the radio. And please forgive me, I can't remember their names. So we're having a great time doing this interview. Well, when we get to the end of the interview, the sister Jasmine says, "Hey, Monique, would you like to play a game?" And I said, "Okay, sis, let's play the game." Well, when she said the game is called Would You Rather. So I said, "Okay, I'm down for it." And then the sister says to me, "Would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?"
I had to stop it right there, y'all. Because, first of all, we talk about the agenda, right? All the time. And why would you bring somebody on a show with a major platform like that, a woman that's married to a man, regardless of how y'all feel about their relationship or whatever? But first of all, it's disrespectful. Like, I would have started swinging. Like, to even ask would he have sex with Lee Daniels or Corinne Steffens without a condom, both are disrespectful, regardless of what your sexuality is. You talking about a marriage. This is the agenda. I would have been mad too. Let's keep going with this clip right quick. I want y'all to hear what they had to say, and then we gonna move on.
Breathe that in for a sec.
Now, for those of you who didn't hear it and you might just have joined the room, I want to take you back to that moment. This sister, a Black woman, asked me when they were playing this game called Would You Rather, "Hey, Monique, would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?" Now, the question that I would ask anybody that's listening, is that offensive? Is that insulting? Is that going too far?
And how, when you are pro-Black or portray yourself as a pro-Black man, how is that helpful to the community to ask, would you sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom? Would you prefer your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without? Because any way Monique speaks on it, what happens? You're downgrading the other person.
Yes.
And despite the fact that Monique and Lee were having a rift at the time, she refused to say anything negatively against them in that regard. She wasn't going to play that. But to your point, then what happened?
So DL was not there that day. I said to his team, "Let me call DL Hughley, because what I know is that brother ain't down like that. He gonna have a problem with y'all saying that kind of foolishness." So I get DL Hughley's telephone number and I call DL Hughley and I say, "Hey man, I just did an interview with your people and this is what they trying to run. Like, this is the game they trying to play." And DL's response was, "That's just how we do. And that's what it is." I said, "Really, brother? So we attack families now? Like, what you doing?" Like I said, "That's just how we do." I said, "DL, I would suggest you don't air that because I don't think it's going to make you look good to the community." Now, if y'all notice, that never got aired and I never said anything. Through the years, I never said anything. I kept it to myself because what I knew was that I was going to see DL Hughley again. Now, after that situation happened, it let me know for whatever reason, DL Hughley was not cool with me, for whatever reason. Then through the years, and I want y'all to hear me, please. Through the years, I've listened to this man talk about all that I'm not, what I didn't deserve. I was mentally ill. I was bitter. Me and my husband did poor business. I was selfish. I was fanatic. I was psychotic. Now, don't take my word, please. You can Google it for yourself, YouTube it for yourself. DL Hughley speaks on Monique. And through the years, my babies, I said nothing because I knew the day would come that I would see DL Hughley. Now, for every interview he's done, I didn't get it from nobody else's mouth. I watched it for myself. And I watched this brother sit down with that white cat.
Vlad.
Vlad, and tell this white man all that I wasn't, as the white man told him all that me and my husband wasn't. And I watched D.L. Hughley go in. Now, it ain't that he just goes in on me. D.L. Hughley has a habit of saying freely what he wants to say about anybody.
Ice Cube.
Come on.
Angela Stanton.
Come on. Kanye West. Like the young babies.
Islam.
The young babies, the rappers, Young Thug.
Now they getting ready to get into more about this, and we need to hear that too. But first of all, man, what about my name being mentioned in the same sentence with Ice Cube and Kanye? That mean your girl out here busting moves, man. Let's keep going. Tell them about it, Monique. Listen, you all make sure you support the network and the channel. We got 1,600 people in here, y'all. Y'all got $5, y'all can donate. Y'all got $5, y'all gonna throw away anyway. I come on once a week. That's less than 75 cents a day. Please help your girl out. You know they coming from me from every angle. Headed back to Buffalo. Need your support. We need to go give to that community support. Please, please, please support the Cash App. I'm shouting y'all out in the end. Let's go, Monique. Keep going.
And Gunna.
Yeah.
See, and let me tell y'all, when I made that joke about you, D.L. Hughley, I didn't think you would get tender in your feelings because you made the comment about the baby stage names, and you said with names like that, don't you think they would wind up in jail? Well, that's what you said. Well, I thought I was coming back being clever, making a joke, because you know back in the day when somebody was on the DL, you know what they were. I don't think you're a homosexual man, DL. I was making a joke, and I can't believe
I do. I think you gay as hell.
After you've talked for years. So let me be clear to you babies watching. Saturday night, I don't care where I went up on that stage, I was going to hand D.L. Hughley his ass, because through the years, I've listened to this man speak so freely about my poor decisions, my life choices, and he spoke as if we had a conversation sitting down talking.
Now, please tell the good people out there what it is that made you go on his show to be blindsided by that question in the first place. What was it about your relationship that made you think he was a comrade in comedy?
See, y'all, I'm one of them old school kind of girls. I'm one of them old school, round the way, down the block kind of girls. And when you get invited to my home, that means something to me. And this was back in the day. This was back in the 90s. And I was opening up for D.L. Hughley. And I was excited. He was doing a comedy club in Upper Maryland. It was the night of a Mike Tyson fight. So no one showed up. 10 people showed up to the show. It was no judgment because everybody understood when Mike Tyson fight, the world shuts down. So for whatever reason, DL had the date. They booked me on the show with him. I'm excited. We get there. It's 10 people. I say, hey, DL, so the night's not a total bust. Why don't you and your audience, because they came to see him, come on back to my home. We can watch the fight. I'll fix some food. Let's have a good time. So I invite this man back to my home. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my home is my sacred place. But I invite him and his audience back so people wouldn't walk away disappointed that there was no show. So that's why I felt like from that moment to the moment I did his radio show and they tried to come with foolishness, I always thought D.L. Hughley and I were cool. Always. Never knew that he had so much to say.
And had Brother D.L., because regardless of the beef, that's still our brother.
Come on.
But had Brother D.L. simply said, I apologize that offended you. I apologize for catching you off. I could see how that could catch you off, because had my wife came on there and you said something like that to her in reference to me, that would have been insulting, because we are supposed to be protective of one another in that regard. But beyond that, because when Monique told me that that's what he said, I personally didn't take offense to him utilizing me. I took exception to him utilizing Brother Lee and Sister
Corinne,
because what had they done to him? Again, when you are a senior in the community and you're 59 years old and your history is you used to be in a gang, you dropped out of school, you got your GED. That right there is an incredible story of how somebody made mistakes, turned it around, came from nothing, and made something of themselves. Can't help but give him props, be proud of. But when you listen to him go after Ice Cube, because that man made a decision as a man to say, I'm not going to get that vaccination, and it doesn't matter how much money it is. That's what you call integrity. When you have a brother named Kanye that has had the challenges that he's had, and you have him calling that man out as opposed to calling him up and saying, let me put my arm around you. And he and Steve talking about, we come from a place called Whoop Ass.
The Whoop Ass Tribe.
The Whoop Ass Tribe. Listen, that may have been cool when you were younger, but what you trying to give to the young folks, because if they get the whooping on people, they going to jail. I'm 54. DL 59. Steve 62. Monique 50-something years old. What we like look
you
like
50-something, I'm 54.
My bad. 54, I know. But what good would it do our old asses out here fighting? So the point of all of that is there's an old saying, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. If you've been comfortable talking about Rizza Islam in reference to his opinion about a vaccine, if you're talking about our sister
Angela
Stanton and her views, but then she approaches you in the airport to see your personal opinion about it, but you call security. If you don't believe me, reach out and ask.
Okay, we sorry.
We saying to you then.
Y'all see how that old devil get to cutting up? Every time they go to talking about Angela Stanton, somehow the phone go out, the internet shut down, they block the communication. Listen to what they saying. Y'all know I'm loud as hell. I'm sorry. Y'all know when y'all come in to watch me, you turn your volume down. I might scare the shit out of you, granny, and the damn children. Look at how the phone always go out. The man start hollering for security. Why? Why? Let's hear this one more time, y'all, and then we're going to get into it.
Comfortable talking about Rizza Islam in reference to his opinion about a vaccine. If you're talking about our sister
Angela
Stanton and her views, but then she approaches you in the airport to see your personal opinion about it, but you call security. If you don't believe me, reach out and ask.
Okay, we sorry.
We saying to you then, we shouldn't talk about people and then not have the same energy when we see them, when we talked about them. But that's what happens when you start with people that didn't start anything with you.
Go ahead.
No, baby, go ahead.
Oh, and I want to address something too.
All I heard spoken was facts. That's all I heard was nothing more than pure facts. Y'all check this out. Shout out to Monique. Y'all please go in the comments, man. A lot of y'all, my supporters, y'all know how we ride. Go over to Monique page and leave a comment in support of her. Y'all know how to get along. The go along gang is still trying to say they wrong. But at the end of the day, DL Hughley ain't gonna stand on nothing. And the reason why I know he fake and all of this is games is because when my child, JB's, who is a gay man that slays the hell out of the wigs, right? He roasted you. Jay roasted you. Jay talked about your child, what kind of shoes your child had on in the casket. Not that I condone, you know, those below the belt hits. But you ain't have a word to say when it's a member of the LGBTQ community. But when it's a strong black woman like me or Monique, or if it's a heterosexual black man, then you got everything in the world to say. So y'all please go over and support our sister Monique. Now, I need to shout out the people who supported me this morning, right? Because like I said before, we got 1,600 people in the comments, right? I'm going to go on here to the Cash App. Let me see. We got $478 raised in the Cash App, right? $478 out of 1,600 people. I told y'all we say we want difference, but we don't really put our money behind our actions. And this is why the Asian community can go in and demand the anti-crime bill. And then when it come to me or our brother Kwame, like he said, it seemed like we begging. We begging because we not putting action behind our words. Y'all got to support us. A lot of these people buy their way in, right? When Pete Sessions in Texas, right, entered in the hate resolution for the Jewish community 7 days after our elders were killed in Buffalo, I guarantee you, because somebody from the Jewish community offered somebody a check, right? We got to be willing to put our money where our mouth is. And out of 1,600 people, it's like everybody could donate $1. Everybody watching can donate $1. 4 quarters is not going to hurt your pocket. You could actually donate more than that. But listen, this is also what I'm doing. It don't matter. People can say I'm begging or whatever. It don't matter. Y'all not going to, a lot of people don't understand what we put into this fight. And the person that says I'm begging probably ain't donated a dime, but you listening. But you soaking up all of this free game. But you will pay $7.99 a month to watch Netflix. You'll pay $24.99 for an album to listen to your favorite rapper tell your son to be a drug dealer and a robber. You will go to the strip club. You will throw away $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a night looking at some ass and titties, but you won't give your sister $5 and she up here trying to save the community with no support. Going up against Democrats, Republicans, whoever can get it about us. They done swept us in the Buffalo shooting right up under the rug. Now, don't tell me to stop saying black when everything we hear out of this current administration is about black. It's okay for them to say black when they talking about black women need abortions. It's okay for them to talk about black when they talking about how black women are dying 3 times likely, right, than white women. It's okay for them to talk about black when they talking about black people being murdered, right, unarmed by police. It's okay for them to talk about black when they say a white supremacist went in neighborhood and shot 10 of our black elders. Come on, man, we got to recognize how they identify us, even though we have enough sense to know that we are not all black. We know that. But how do they recognize us? And we got to move in the direction that they recognize us. They're not going to recognize us by how we recognize ourselves. And listen, next weekend, I'm going to speak in an event with Eric Trump, man, and my ass to the whole Congress, Republican, Democrat, and Independent. Look at Black Americans as human beings instead of worthless votes. Right now, they're looking at us as worthless votes. Somebody asked for the Zelle. Let me give it to you right down here at the bottom. Stop looking at us as worthless votes. There it is right there. I just put it in the comments. Anybody that want a Zelle, there it is right there. So listen, people ask me all the time, Angela, what you doing? We get on here, we support you. What you doing with the funds? What you doing in the community? And I show people what I do, right? I'm always active. But what we're working on now, Judge Joe Brown and I, we're bringing conflict resolution to the ASH show. So now on the morning show, each and every Wednesday, right, starting June 15th, if you have an issue, instead of going to the courthouse because we know that our system is not for us, you can now bring your conflict resolution to the ASH show. Judge Joe Brown will be there to give his ruling. But not only that, he is also going to give you legal advice, right? Where can you go to get legal advice from somebody that's been involved in law, right, as long as Judge Joe Brown has? Where can you go to get free legal advice? This is what we're doing. Y'all check this out. Yesterday, well, day before yesterday, I traveled to Tennessee and I met up with Judge Joe Brown. Here's a look at what we were doing behind the scenes. Check this out.
Just gave them a door.
Hey, everybody, come on in.
See, like, okay, Emmett Till anti-lynch bill. I talked
100 years later.
No. I talked to Emmett Till's mother on 3 occasions for about 17, 18 hours total. There's a woman I'm going to turn you on to, sort of has done all the work on that.
Okay.
There's a thing she was working on, the Tuskegee Institute. Lynching program, and they've recorded the lynchings over the last century. They don't even classify Emmett Till as a lynching. His mother doesn't classify. Need some boxes. Still working? Still working. All right. His mother doesn't classify him as a lynching because there's only 2 people. They call it a murder. All right. But you see, under this new Emmett Till anti-lynch bill, you don't even have to kill somebody now. It can be a killing, a beating, or a kidnapping, and all it requires is one person. This is covered under the anti-lynch bill. Who just broke up with his old lady. He's in a club. He's dancing with this chick he thinks is a chick. They've been kissing, and then the dude gets a hard.
Now, I want y'all also to pay attention to what Judge Joe Brown is saying in the background. He's talking about the anti-lynching bill because I was having a conversation with him about the legislation that we're trying to get passed and introduced into Congress in regarding to the anti-hate crime bill. And the reason my face is like this is because Judge Joe Brown is telling me that the anti-lynching bill is a double-edged sword if you listen very closely. He's telling us that now lynching, it doesn't even have to fall up under lynching. So he's explaining the story to me like how this guy, if he decides to go out and shoot somebody, he can also be charged with lynching. They have now changed the definition of what lynching actually is. So y'all kind of listen to the conversation in the background. Thank you to everybody that donated, man. I see y'all in here, man. Y'all going at it like my God say it's Friday. Man, y'all help a sister out. That's all I'm asking, because I promise you, I know I'm not the only one that's fighting for us, but I'm definitely one of them that's definitely in our corner. It don't matter to me. You know, the Republicans, I rock with them, but everybody on the Republican side know that I'm for my people. And I do have some friends in the Republican Party, y'all, that are going to support us on this. I don't know who's going to introduce the legislation, whether it's going to be a Republican or a Democrat. But the bottom line is when the legislation is introduced, it has to be supported and it has to be voted on. Okay? It has to be supported and it has to be voted on. Let's finish listening to what Judge Joe Brown has to say. I'm going to shout out everybody that's supporting, man. I love y'all. Listen to this.
He freaks out, busts him in his mouth, knocks a tooth out, bloody his lip. That's now federal lynching because it doesn't require a killing, only a beating, and it doesn't require a mob.
Did y'all hear that?
You see how that works?
Did y'all hear that? Judge Joe Brown is educating me on the flip side to a lot of these bills that are being passed and how it's like a double-edged sword. But I wanted to tell you all to be on the lookout for Street Court on the Ask Morning Show coming on B100 Radio. I'm sitting here with Judge Joe Brown now. We are going to do our part to bring conflict resolution to our community. So every Wednesday morning on B100 Radio on the Ask Morning Show, you guys can call in. You can call in for your legal advice. You can call in for conflict resolution. You can call in on tort cases. And guess what? Judge is ready to render his verdict. The Ask Morning Show on B100 Radio, y'all, is going to start Monday, June 13th. And you guys can catch Judge Joe Brown every Wednesday. The first Wednesday will be June 15th, 2022. We are doing our part, right? Takes a village, but we're doing our part. Let's help bring some peace, some common sense, and some conflict resolution to our communities. Make sure that you guys are on the lookout for the show. Judge, tell everybody bye.
Yo, have a great day.
Evelyn, say hey.
Hello, everyone. Goodbye as well.
So just so you guys know, the young lady that I showed, that is Miss Evelyn. She is in urban development. She has some urban housing developments in Mississippi. She has them in Washington, D.C. And we are trying to build, right, this community, right, that serves us, that protects our children, that empowers our communities, helping single mothers, helping Black men get back on their feet, putting them back in the homes. Guys, this is why it's important for all of you all to be a part of this movement. I need to let you guys listen to this. Then we getting ready to do our shout outs and we getting ready to close out. Y'all know I always like to refer back to common sense. Listen to this message this guy had to share. So powerful. Check this out.
The NRA murders 0 people and receives $0 in federal funding. Planned Parenthood, on the other hand, kills 400,000 babies a year and receives $500 million in tax dollars annually. So don't talk to me about being apathetic towards the safety of our children when you're willing to spend $500 million to kill 500,000 babies every year. Here's something for you to ruminate on. The NRA murders 0 people and receives $0 in federal funding. Planned Parenthood, on the other hand, kills 400,000 babies a year and receives $500 million in tax dollars annually. So don't talk to me about being apathetic towards the safety of our children when you're willing to spend $500 million to kill 500,000 babies every year.
$500 million to kill 500,000 babies a year. Let me just say this because we're getting ready to end, y'all. Tomorrow, well, later today at 2 o'clock, y'all make sure y'all come tune back in. I'm going to have Marcel Dixon on the show. Marcel Dixon is a young man that is running in South Carolina. If you guys are in South Carolina, he is a Democrat. Y'all know how I feel about that. However, Marcel says he's for the people, and he has agreed to come on the show and told me he will answer any questions that I have. First of all, I got to bring you on the show because shout out to you for wanting to come on the ASK show and let me ask you about your position and where you stand for our people. So y'all, today, Marcel Dixon, make sure you tune back in at 2 p.m. We will have him on the show. Let me give out some thank yous. Let me tell y'all something. I'm looking at a long list of people that decided to donate. And I just want to say this. No, we went from $400 to $1,200 just that quick. And these ain't no donations of $200, $300, $400. Man, y'all chimed in. I'm seeing some 5s. I'm seeing some 1s. I'm seeing a couple of 10s. But as a community, this goes to show you what we can do when we all come together. My girl Kia, I love you, baby. I see what you sent. It don't matter. Thank you, because it all adds up. Misha, Tanisha Gill, Erwin, Tiffany, Janita, Aaron Williams, Eric Moore, Crystal, Ether Brown, Tammy Kyle, John DeWart and Dash Gaines, Michael, Tyra, Brandon Roundtree, Christine Simpson, Kimmy, Breaking Out Ministry. Love y'all. Y'all email me. Let me know what y'all doing so I can support your ministry and let people know where you're at. Ebony Richardson, Rebecca Shepherd, Angela Clickscale. Angela, you know you the bomb because we got the same name, baby. Okay. Lilik Taylor, Darmichi, D Nice. Shout out D Nice. Is that the D Nice? I don't know. I'm just asking. I used to be, a fave with the DJ. I don't know. Probably not. Fatima, Willie, Letitia Lorraine, Yasun, Kimberly Taylor, Joanna Douglas, Sharon Young, Ketron Thornton, Love Pink, Erica. Thank you, Erica from Chicago, Angel Giles, Game Dreamer 58, Perilla, Chris Anthony, Sandy Masick, I think. I may have not pronounced that right. Corey, Maureen, Sharonda Hill, Isaiah Collins, Denise Adams, J.C. Inez, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Brandy Duncan, S. Stoneman, Change is Good, always supporting, I love you. Zena Jones, Anthony, Elisha Berry, Joshua, Kimberly Shamlin, Lorraine Petrie, My Sean, Takesha, Carolyn Lamb, Cindy Yvette, Maurice Johnson, TPK Kryptonite, Lindell Williams, Gregory Jones, Miss Deborah, Sharniqua Dawson, Tracy Young, Ronnie Mayfield, Taurus Peaks, Donovan, Sephra Shabaka, Reed, shout out to you, baby, Christine Williams, Elmira Banks, Tanya Thompson, Jacqueline Levy, Lashaya Hall, Carolyn Jackson, Danico Green, my girl, Miss Brooks, love you, baby. Jennifer Steffens, Jonathan Farrell, James Logan, Daryl Littleton, Jacqueline Bolin, Sonia, Deron Blanks, Narja Sabor, Jay Mask, Andrea, Larry, Jamel Lee, thank you, Vicky, John Day, Jenkins, Erica Moore. Let me keep going. Tanya White, Treese, Frida, Thomas Lito, Tanya White again. Shout out to you, baby. Thank you. Nathan Price, Shonda Franklin, Sophia, Jessica Evans, Mariah, Charlotte R. Brenton, Kenneth Gamble, Willie Davis, Veronica Alexander, Shy, Aisha, Chanel, Leroy Stanley, Mioka. I wonder if I pronounced that right. Y'all know I be trying. Kenya Ford, Flacco, thank you. Amelia McGee, Peyton Smith, Laura Logan, thank you. I wonder if that's my girl, Laura Logan. I'm going to call her today. Basu Investment, Aaliyah Evans, Brandon Brines, Octavia, Christopher Mosley, Arlene Foster, Chanel Tyson, Janine, Kim Smith, Breeze, Calvin Jones, Kimberly Jones, the ENT Shop, Darflow IQ, thank you, always supporting. Choosy Baby, Dead Clear, Lido Monic, Dominic. I got that one right. Thank you. Shy Gemini 77 at Gmail. Thank you. Vanessa Perkins. Man, so many people. Thank y'all so much. Some more just came in as I was reading it off. Kennard Whitley, thank you so much. Robert R.L. Roberts, Sharon Watkins, VA, Diana Mara, Victor Torres, Thelma Williams. Y'all, thank you so much for your support. I want you all to enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to come back today at 2:00 so we can hear from Marcel Dixon, a Democrat running in South Carolina. His primaries, I believe, are week after next. He said, I'm a Democrat, but I'm willing to come on your show. So y'all know this is going to be interesting. Shout out to my brother Kwame. Shout out to my sister Shan Mathis. Shout out to my girl Jasmine. Shout out to all of my moderators, Go Getter, King Kush, everybody that supports me, all of you all that tune in on the regular, those of you that are being active in your communities, those of you that are sharing and subscribing. I cannot do this work without the support of my community. You know, when you really standing on truth, it's hard to get along, the go along game to stand with you. But this is real grassroots. This is what y'all represent. This is what I represent. And we are standing right on our demands. We're asking for equality. And we ain't talking about the kind of equality that aborts our children or sexually transitions them, right? We want the kind of equality that Martin Luther King Jr. was fighting for, civil rights. Civil rights is something that was implemented and created by Black Americans fighting for freedom. Civil rights ain't had nothing to do with abortion or LGBTQ or anti-Asian hate or anti-Jew hate. Civil rights was a movement that was created by Martin Luther King and many others on the fight for equality for Black American-born citizens. Much love, y'all. I'll see y'all later today when we come back with Marcel Dixon. Thanks again for your love, your support. B100 Radio, the Ask Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., starting Monday, June 13th. Love y'all. Bye.